This just came out. Avi Loeb, the Harvard astrophysicist who's been tracking every strange behavior of 3I Atlas, has just documented the 13th major anomaly about this interstellar visitor, and this one is absolutely mind-blowing. New images taken just days ago reveal something that defies basic physics. Massive jets of material shooting over 1 million kilometers into space, that's more than twice the distance from Earth to the moon, and these jets are staying perfectly aligned despite the fact that 3I Atlas is spinning. That shouldn't be possible. A rotating natural comet should create smeared, scattered jets, but 3I Atlas? Its jets are laser-focused, tightly collimated, pointing in specific directions like they're being controlled. I'm breaking down Loeb's latest findings right now, and I'm going to show you why this 13th anomaly is making scientists question everything they thought they knew about this object. Let's get into it. The discovery. Alright, so here's what just happened. Between November 8th and 11th, multiple observatories captured new high-resolution images of 3I ATLS after it emerged from behind the sun following its perihelion passage on October 29th of 2025. And what they found has Avi Loeb calling this a completely new anomaly, one that he just posted about on his blog yesterday, November 15th, 2025. The images show these incredibly detailed jet structures extending from the nucleus of 3I ATLS. We're talking about jets that reach distances of over 1 million kilometers. To put that in perspective, that's about 2.6 times the distance between Earth and the Moon, and these jets are staying perfectly aligned despite the fact that 3I ATLS is spinning. That shouldn't be possible. A rotating natural comet should create smeared, scattered jets. But 3I Atlas? Its jets are laser-focused, tightly collimated, pointing in specific directions like they're being controlled. I'm breaking down Loeb's latest findings right now, and I'm going to show you why this 13th anomaly is making scientists question everything they thought they knew about this object. Let's get into it. Why this matters. The physics problem. So let me explain why this is such a big deal, because the physics here is actually pretty straightforward. When a comet rotates, any active regions on its surface, these are the spots where ice is vaporizing, they're going to point in different directions as the nucleus spins. Over the course of that 16-hour rotation period, those jets should trace out curved paths in space. Loeb did the math on this. If 3I Atlas is releasing material continuously as it rotates, you should see at least 43 separate puffs of gas along that million-kilometer jet structure. That's because the comet completes multiple rotations while that material is traveling outward. But we're not seeing 43 puffs. We're seeing coherent, straight jets. Now, Loeb offers a few possible explanations. First possibility, maybe these jets only fire when they're pointing toward the sun. The sunward side gets heated, releases gas, and then quickly cools when it rotates away from sunlight. So you'd only get jets in the sunward-facing direction. But here's the problem with that explanation. Some of the images clearly show jets pointing away from the sun. The November 8th image specifically shows material streaming in the anti-solar direction. That kills the only fires when facing the sun theory. Second possibility, maybe what we're looking at isn't jets at all, but rather a trail of evaporating fragments. Maybe the nucleus exploded near perihelion, and we're seeing the debris cloud from that breakup. But that explanation has a problem too. Images from November 11th, taken by astronomers David Jewett and Jane Liu, clearly show 3I ATLS as a single intact object. No fragmentation, no breakup, just one solid body. So if it didn't break apart, and the jets can't all be sunward facing, what's the third option? And this is where it gets controversial. Loeb suggests the jets could be maintaining their directionality because they're produced by technological thrusters that preserve global orientation for navigation purposes. Now, I know what you're thinking, that sounds like science fiction, but Loeb isn't just throwing that out there randomly. He's saying, look, we've eliminated the natural explanations, so what's left?
This new jet behavior is what I'm calling the 13th anomaly, but let me quickly run through the full list so you understand just how many unexplained things are stacking up with this object. Anomaly 1, its trajectory. 3I Atlas is traveling in a retrograde orbit, meaning opposite to the direction planets move, but it's aligned within just 5 degrees of the ecliptic plane. The statistical likelihood of that happening by chance? 0.2%, extremely unlikely. Anomaly 2, the anti-Sunward tail. Back in July and August, Hubble captured images showing a jet pointed toward the sun, not away from it. Natural comets have tails pushed away from the sun by solar radiation. This one doesn't. Anomaly 3, its size and speed. The nucleus is about 1,000,000 times more massive than Oumuamua and 1,000 times more massive than Borisov, while also moving faster than both. Again, statistically improbable. Anomaly 4, perfect timing. Its arrival was fine-tuned to bring it close to Mars, Venus, and Jupiter while being completely unobservable from Earth during perihelion. Odds? 0.005%. Anomaly 5, chemical composition. Its gas plume contains way more nickel than iron, similar to industrially produced nickel alloys. The nickel to cyanide ratio is orders of magnitude higher than any known natural comet. Anomaly 6, extreme speed. It's traveling faster than 99% of all known comets. Anomaly 7, no water at discovery. When first detected, it showed no water production, which is bizarre for a comet that far from the sun. Anomaly 8, the WOW signal connection. It arrived from the same direction as the famous 1977 radio signal, within just 9 degrees. Could be coincidence, but the odds are only 0.6%. Anomaly 9, the color change. Near perihelion, it brightened faster than any known comet and turned bluer than the sun. Comets are supposed to get redder, not bluer. Dust scatters light and makes things look redder. This thing got blue. Anomaly 10, non-gravitational acceleration without evidence. NASA's data shows it accelerated in a way that requires it to have lost at least 13 to 15% of its total mass. That should create a massive debris cloud. We're talking over 5 billion tons of gas, but post-perihelion images show no such cloud. Anomaly 11, no clear tail. Images from November 5th show a compact light source without the typical cometary tail you'd expect after it lost that much mass. And Anomaly 12, the intact nucleus. Despite the extreme heating and mass loss, November 11th images show 3I Atlas is still a single unified body. Natural comets that lose 13+% of their mass typically fragment. This one didn't. And now Anomaly 13, the non-smeared jets. Despite rotating every 16 hours, the jets remain tightly focused and directionally stable over distances exceeding 1,000,000 kilometers. 13 anomalies. 13 things that don't match what natural comets do. What happens next? So where does this leave us? Loeb is clear about this. He hasn't changed his ranking of 3I Atlas on what he calls the Loeb scale. That's his own measurement system where 0 means definitely natural and 10 means definitely technological. Right now, 3I Atlas sits at a 4 on that scale. He says he's waiting for more data before adjusting that ranking. And here's what's coming. First, NASA is expected to release the high-rise images from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter literally any day now. These images were taken back in October 2nd and 3rd when 3I Atlas passed within 29 million kilometers of Mars. They have about 3 times better resolution than Hubble. Those images have been delayed for over 40 days because of bureaucratic issues during the government shutdown, but Loeb says multiple sources confirm they're about to drop. When those images come out, we'll get our first clear look at the nucleus size and the geometry of that anti-tail. Second, December 19th. That's when 3I Atlas makes its closest approach to Earth, about 270 million kilometers away. Ground-based observatories, Hubble, and James Webb will all be watching to see if that massive debris cloud ever shows up. If it doesn't, that strengthens the case that something very unusual is happening. Third, ESA's JUICE spacecraft observed 3I Atlas in early November with multiple instruments, but we won't get that data until February 2026 because of the slow rate at which JUICE sends data back to Earth. And finally, March 16th, 2026. That's when 3I Atlas will pass within 54 million kilometers of Jupiter, where NASA's Juno spacecraft will observe it with UV, infrared, and radio instruments. Loeb says if the measured speed, composition, and mass flux of these jets are consistent with natural sublimation from ice pockets, he'll lower the Loeb scale ranking. But if they're inconsistent with what sunlight heating of a natural comet would produce, he'll raise the ranking, above 4. And if there's evidence of new objects near Earth or Mars that are related to 3I Atlas, remember he's mentioned the possibility of mini probes being released. Look, I'm not here to tell you this is definitely alien technology. What I am telling you is that we now have 13 documented behaviors that don't match what natural comets do. And the establishment response? Mostly silence or dismissing every anomaly as just something comets do without actually explaining how. This 13th anomaly about the jets, that just dropped yesterday. The high-rise images could drop today, tomorrow, this weekend. This story is developing in real time, and I'll be covering every update as it happens. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what could be the most important astronomical discovery of our generation. I'll see you in the next one.